as far as I can tell at this point, which I'm always able to learn more, is that when we're young, we're trained to exhibit certain behavior. These are normal behavior, the norms. And it can, on a very general view, be considered deviant behavior, if we don't follow those norms under general circumstances. At the same time, if we don't think about what we're doing from a larger perspective, we can blindly become a robot or an automaton, regurgitating the same behavior and have no clue whatsoever of what it means or what it's doing. We're just behaving normally. To step outside these norms can be very dangerous. To question authority is basically what it comes down to. And I've had an experience where the way in which I give alternate perspectives has not been effective in producing great boons for my society as far as money goes, finances. And for me, the way I look at it is that many people have their own little dream they want to dream and invent. And this can be threatened by alternate perspectives. I don't want to be detrimental to my society. However, I have found in my own personal experience that society does want to be detrimental to me. And that most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, these are blind automatons just regurgitating acceptable behavior, normal behavior. And I've had the experience where normal behavior for certain religious types requires that condemnation and exile are required for certain perspectives, you know. And I never thought I was God. I never thought I had the power to condemn or exile someone. But I understand that in a society there are those that play that role, and those roles are necessary. And I think we live in a pretty well-educated society in that those that do condemn and exile others have to be, they're held to a high standard. And I'm grateful for that. They have to know what they're doing. They can't just blindly be exiling and condemning people right and left. They really need to know what they're doing. But I've found that most of them don't. And when it comes to doing the research and the inquiry required to make an informed decision, they're lazy and they tend to be selfish. And as I inquired further into this, I realized that they're just doing what supports their rendition of reality, and that certain aspects of life are very difficult to be integrated. Some things we don't want to know. We don't we just can't swallow. We just can't digest certain aspects of life. And I found for myself that that has to do with the goal we want to get at. The goal determines what we throw off is of value, and what we evaluate. How we evaluate things is based on our goal. But if we are just regurgitating known behavior to be normal, and we don't give it a second thought, it can be very hurtful. It can be very non-productive. And I think that what society is going through is that they are having to integrate a tremendous amount of information, and it's just overwhelming. For myself, when I became overwhelmed, I retreated and studied, tried to learn about things. And in the beginning, I was just grasping in the dark. But I was turned on to a couple of authors by this guy. He said Jeffrey Wolf Green, Napoleon Hill, Carl Jung, Joseph Campbell. And by reading those guys, I began to have a vision that helped me to start grasping at things and relating to things in a way that was more functional for me. It brought resolution. But this information, there's a lot out there that can be very overwhelming. And for me, I had to retreat so that I could slowly integrate the information and digest it slowly. And I find it really interesting because it's at a certain point I had certain things thrust down my throat, of which either I had neglected to learn or were not offered to me as a possibility to learn. And my digestive system, my physical somatic body, responded as highly inflamed, irritable bowel, that kind of thing, because there was just too much information for me to integrate, and it really affected my digestive tract. So I've been able to realize that sometimes life presents situations in which, if we apply ourselves, they actually help us. So at this time where I was forced to have all these things digested, which required, years to digest and to learn about, all other opportunities were set aside. Every door, every opportunity was shut. It was as if life rose up and said, okay, we're going to close all these doors so that this is all you're going to be able to do. As if it were that way, metaphorically speaking. And this last week, I've been able to do some study I've been wanting to do. And the finances being limited shut off all other opportunities that distracted my mind so that I could do my studies.